shifting from quality, let's talk about staying on track. I mentioned that if you go from Dallas or from Austin to Houston by way of New York City, you're taking a whole lot more effort than necessary. The best way to minimize work is to stay on track and course correct very, very quickly. And so we have, if I'm in the race and I hit a tree, I'm not making progress. If I break a part on the bike, I'm not making progress. If I fall down in the mud, I have to, clean all the mud out of the handlebars so that I can go again, not making progress. But if I take a wrong turn and have to backtrack, okay, I'm deceiving myself. I'm thinking I'm making progress. I'm expending energy. I'm covering ground, but not in the right direction. And I have to fix that and course correct. Airlines run this way every day. They're constantly course correcting, and the winds will blow them a little bit off course. A mistake that some teams make in the software process that allows them to get them off course is accepting work into the software team that varies in size, where it's one item that's huge and another item that's tiny, like a spelling mistake, and then trying to use estimation techniques and trying to label something as small, large, or story points, or all kinds of different things. Oh, that's going to take half a day. How many hours? Let me try to estimate. Estimation techniques haven't panned out for our industry, and they are used less and less because they just flat out don't work. Like planning poker, estimating in Fibonacci numbers, they haven't worked in practice as much as people have tried, and there's courses, and they just haven't delivered. What has worked is using the Kanban approaches, work in process limit, and standardizing units of work or standardizing the work size. Also, what has worked is not pushing work into the development team that's more than a max unit size. For example, pushing something, letting an item be on your work tracking board or your work tracking system where it can't be done in 1 day or at max 2 days is just asking for trouble. It's just asking for waste. Ahead of coding, changes and new features need to be broken up into units of development that are no bigger than a day of effort. Our industry has really learned that if a unit of work is estimated at 2 weeks, it's going to be 4 weeks or more. If it's estimated at 2 days, it's going to be 4. That's why managers, they joke around and kind of almost crying behind their eyes that a developer gives an estimate, and what do? You double it. And then that person gives that estimate to somebody else, and they take that estimate and double it. And then it runs up to product management. What does product management do? They double it. And how many times does it just arbitrarily get doubled before you finally ask the CFO for some budget for a software product, and nobody knows how much work there is? People just arbitrarily double it just to see, oh, surely it can't be this big. Surely if I just double it and they doubled it and they doubled it, surely that'll be enough schedule, enough funding to figure out this software project. And then they do it. And then guess what? That project is late. So that approach doesn't work, okay? If we don't standardize the size of each unit of work, we have no idea which items are going to run long or which items are going to give us problems. But splitting up the work ensures that we understand it, because it doesn't do us any good if we have a piece of work we know is kind of, quote, this nebulous big. We have no idea what it is. We have no idea how we're going to approach it. And somehow we think that we've given an estimate, which an estimate communicates to somebody else that we understand it and are kind of telling them how long it's going to take. In reality, there's a lot of those items, we just don't know because we haven't even looked into them yet. I don't know. They're just an item on the list. So splitting up the work ensures that we understand it. And it also forces us to decide on design elements of its implementation. Because once the coding begins, we don't want to have to stop because there's a gap in our understanding. We need to keep up the pace. We need to keep forward progress. We need to keep moving, or else the whole team is going to move really slowly. And if something is going to run long, it's better that a 1 day item runs into 2 days and makes it really visible that, oh, wait a minute, this thing is running long. That allows us the opportunity to maybe stop the bleeding rather than it happening on larger items. It gives us more opportunities to course correct. We also minimize work through simple and known designs, design patterns, and reusing defect-free components that are already debugged. And also, refactoring is our friend. We want to keep the code base easy to understand. The point of refactoring is to make a change and then have the resulting code be as if this new feature was planned to be in the software all along. We don't want it to look like an afterthought or a Band-Aid implementation.